The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, your sports guy. We got a great show for you all tonight. Please hit that like, subscribe, and also comment. I'm joined by my two co-hosts. You can find both of them on CrescentCitySports.com. First up, the one and only VK Jones. What's up, VK?
Good evening,
VK, you there?
gentlemen. What's going on with y'all? It's Wednesday night. You hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
You hear me now?
Yes, sir.
It's Wednesday night. Like, share, tag, and subscribe. The Hash It Out Show on all social media platforms. And hopefully I'll be on the screen sooner or later, but I'm actually coming home from a job. But at the same time, still, we appreciate you joining us. We got a lot going on tonight. Got some previews of some matchups, including this big matchup coming up Saturday night. And we have a really good special guest for us. So, JB, take it away.
Also joining us, George Peppers. What's up, GP?
Not too much, JB. It's Wednesday night. It's Hash It Out. It's another great guest, and it's pick night. Where else would you rather be on a Wednesday night? Pull up a chair and take a listen. You get great sports talk, and you get some great insight. Let's go.
Our special guest. He is the head coach of the Livingston Wolves. He got his team to the playoffs last year, and they got their first ever playoff victory. Now he's looking to get more playoff victories and get a deeper run into the playoffs. We're joined by the one and only coach, Devon Francois. Coach, what's going on, my man?
All is well. How about y'all?
Doing good, my man. Doing good. Coach, you were a standout player at Edna Carr. How much of a mentor has Jabbar Jaluk been to you since you played under him?
Jabbar has been a huge mentor. I speak monthly. Some yeah, on things I have going on as well. But not just him. That whole coaching staff over there at Carr. A lot of those guys came in my freshman year. So Bright, T. Howard had Darius, the Almonds. All of those guys are, I think the foundational coaches that have there, that win there. How they're constantly pouring into that community. Great job. So there's I can't go to them and ask them a question.
Why did you want to be a coach?
Yeah, so plan that all. I did some workouts, did a few CF, but nothing really. So I got coaching and I started coaching at college level at Southern University. I was a DB coach. Did a year and a half. Still had the niche to play. Still was out, so I left and I went and played overseas for 2 years at Berlin Atlas, and at some point, it was a great lifestyle. It was a great playing environment, but I really wanted to get home. So I was always that players coach. So when I got back home, I started coaching.
You just said all of the places you coached as an assistant, but you were one of the main guys that got Jefferson Ride's football team up and running. Tell us about that a little bit.
That was actually the first program I started coaching at in the city. Came back home in 2017. It was a middle school program, and we really got it up and running over there. And while I was there, won back-to-back citywide champion. Started the high school program. So my second year or my last year there, we had the ninth grade team. Well, we did pretty well. We played 6 games, went 4-2, and we won that. Like I said, we went back-to-back champions with the middle school program. And from there in 2019, in that spring, I started coaching with Nate Jones over at St. Augustine High School.
April of 2021, you take the head coaching job at Livingston. Why was Livingston the right place for you to become their head coach?
After doing research and seeing what the network was about and what the school was about, meeting with the administrators and giving them my vision and the athletic director, Yusuf Young at the time, it just made sense. At the time, it was funny because we was at Booker T, and then Coach Dorsey got the job at Right. I was on there for about a month with Dorsey as the DC, and this opportunity came about. So really dove into the position, and after meeting with the administrative team and the leadership team, I just think it was the right fit and the right time to take this position.
Your team last year finished the regular season 8-2. You go into the first round of the playoffs and defeat Douglas. Talk about winning your first playoff game ever, and also Livingston winning its first playoff game ever.
Yeah, it was huge. Last year was our first year being able to compete for honors. So being able to go to the playoffs, we're a 3A, but we play in Division II. Like I said, that being our first year and being ranked the number 10 seed, that was a big accomplishment for us. Hosting that first round of the playoffs here in the East, that was the goal. That was the ultimate goal, and we accomplished that. And McLeod is my guy. He was a big part of the reason why I took the job and got some of those interviews that I was able to get. So I always have to pay homage to him for what he done for me. And that's always be my guy. And it was just great to compete with him, someone that I knew, a great friend. And then it was just also great for those kids. They came, they showed up, and we showed out. And then the second round, we had to go play your team.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a minute. But I want to ask you, how has the Livingston community been towards you?
Extremely supportive. Extremely supportive. I think when you think about collegiate, right? It was always so much about Culver. And the mission and the goal that I had was to show that not only can Culver do it, but we can also do it. And if we can come in here and put the right staff together, and pour into the kids, set a foundation. And the motto that we went about last year was success, love, consistency. So extremely pouring that into them and get those guys to be consistent on and off the field. Finishing the season with a 3.1 GPA as a team,
Nice.
making it to the second round of the playoffs. So the community around here have been great. We still building, a newer high school. However, what we're doing is speak volume, and I'm glad to be here.
You won a first round game, got to the second round, wasn't successful in the loss to Shaw. But it's a lot of positives you could take from that. What did you take from it going into this season?
Yeah, definitely. We had a lot of guys coming back this year, and I always preach especially in the offseason, was do not let premature success cloud your judgment, right? So we want these kids to continue being consistent and understanding what kind of school we are, and the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal for all programs is to play on Poydras. And I was fortunate enough to do that. I also have my O-line coach, a great friend of mine, Dylan Gordon, that went to John Curtis, that's on the staff that played in the league 5 years and played at LSU. He also, had an opportunity to play in that Superdome, and we know what it's about. So trying to instill the vision and the mission into those guys, and understanding that do not let premature success dictate what we're doing this year. What those seniors did last year and that team did last year don't have anything to do with this year. So want these guys to stay hungry, stay greedy, and just keep working.
We are live with Coach Devon Francois, the head coach of the Livingston Wolves. Everyone that's tuning in, please click that subscribe button, hit the like button, keep the comments coming. Before I pass it on to my good friend George Peppers, you guys have the Patrick Taylor Tigers this upcoming Saturday night at Joe Brown Stadium. What have you seen from Patrick Taylor on film?
First, we have to give kudos to what Coach Boudreaux is doing over there at Patrick Taylor. Same type of program as us, a newer program. This district is pretty new. Only team that was in the district previously was Sophie Wright, and Kennedy have been around for a while. But I think what those guys are doing this year speak volume. We know about them being an academic school. However, now they're showing that they can be all about academics, but also point to their athletic programs as well. So to be 5-0, it speaks volume to what he's doing over there, and how committed those guys are. And we got to take it one game at a time, just like he's preaching as well to his guys. But running that veer offense is going to take us defensively, being gapped out defensively and being sound, making sure that we constantly doing what we are taught to do, and then offensively, attacking some of the weakness that those guys have. But again, that's a great football team, and we can't overlook anyone.
GP.
Thank you, JB. Coach, first off, thank you for taking the time for joining us. I know it's a busy week every week, but we are very appreciative of your time. And my first question is going to focus on your pre-district. You guys were 3-2. You played some improved teams: Riverdale, Higgins, Pine, teams like that. It seemed a little bit topsy-turvy with how you guys went. You won a game, lost a game, turnovers, penalties, and stuff like that. Seemed like you turned a little bit of a corner last week with the win against Ronaldo. Talk about your team. Assess your team through 5 games as we head into district play.
We really been dealing with injury. We started off the season unsure about the direction going, and we had a 2-quarterback system. Anthony took over that position and was doing a great job for us. And against Patrick Taylor, right before the half, he broke his collarbone. So that leadership that he had, and the way that the offense finally started to roll, was another setback. However, we have Davion Thomas that's there, and he's a great receiver, but he's more so he's a great athlete. We believe in him. So injury has been a big thing for us, but I think we're getting healthy at the right time. So as we continue to move forward, I think we're going to be just fine. Something that's been great for us all year have been an offensive line, though. Those guys have some grit about them. They're extremely smart. We have 7 offensive linemen total. Out of the 7, 5 of them have a 3.7 GPA or higher. So they're take the coach. They're able to make the adjustments. They're able to come off the field and tell us exactly what's going on and speak football terminology. So that's big for us. We know Alpha Scott, he's going to take the workload. Diddy does a great job running that ball. So, and then our slot receivers, Tylen and Antonio, man, just lights out from last year to this year. So right now we have a great thing going. And then defensively, Dion Griffin up front, he's doing a great job. And, we had a few guys that came over in the spring, Landon Craig and Kyrie Gibson, and then that back, and a lot of those guys came back from last year that played. So Miles, Montreal, we have Kale up. Those guys are just doing a great job. And I think the thing that's keeping us rolling and keeping us afloat is they have a bind and they hold each other accountable.
JB touched on it. I want to kind of expand on the matchup this week. Patrick Taylor, they're 5-0 undefeated. Talk about the difficulty in preparing for an offense such as the split veer, which focuses on discipline defensively, and then having to face their defense, which they run a 3-3-5. Talk about how do you prepare for such a unique offense and defensively what they run.
I think the preseason schedule actually prepares us for this. You look at a River, they run the wing T. On defensively, they ran the 3-3 stack. Then you look at Pine, they run wing T as well. They also run wing T. So we have been. That's the reason why we scheduled those games. We know it's going to be a tough physical game,
Mm-hmm.
district. And then we knew Douglas was going to be more of a spread team that threw the ball around the field. But I think offensively we have been seeing the 3-3 throughout the the preseason district, and then defensively we've been having to play the physical gap align and gap sound football. So we are prepared. Coach Leonard Gleaves and the defensive staff over there, they're doing a great job preparing our guys, and we're looking forward to the matchup.
Should be a very interesting matchup against Patrick Taylor. But let's look ahead. And I know coaches hate to do this, because we're allowed to, but you guys are always talking about focusing on this week. But when you assess this district, you got Kennedy, you guys, Sophie B. Wright, and teams like that. Talk about what it's going to take to attain the goals that you have set out to attain this year for Livingston in this district.
I think it's doing just what you asking me not to do. It's I, scary part about it. It's easy to look ahead. We have the next week, but we can't take care. We can't be 4-2 until we take care of business this week. So
All right.
we have to take care of business this week. Obviously, we know in the back of our head that's a game that a lot of people want to see. It was a packed out house last year, but I think the thing that's different for us in district, I would say we have the heavy hitters back to back to back. We go Patrick Taylor, we go Kennedy, and then we go Sophie Wright. So there's not any time for us to slip up. There's not any time for us to waste time, or we have to stay extremely focused and keep the main thing. That's focusing on this week. And then, however the game go, we'll take 24 hours to celebrate it or watch the film and make the corrections, and then we'll start preparing for the next week.
I feel like that's good for you guys that you have that back to back to back. And I actually was going to lead into my next question. How do you feel going into that, with Kennedy and then Sophie B right after? But that being, you've already answered it. I wanted to bring up the Shaw game last year, but I knew JB would, being that he's a Shaw grad. When
I
y'all,
wasn't trying to.
sure, okay, crossing his fingers when he says that. All jokes aside, listen, Coach. When that game finished, what was the message to your team for 2023 after that disappointment? I mean, you guys had a spectacular year, won a playoff game, and then lost at Shaw. But what did you tell your team in that locker room in advance of 23? And what was the message going into 23?
Well, the first thing, being in the Catholic League 2019-2020 season, those seniors were freshmen. And I remember when we was playing against them when I was at St. Aug, we knew that those guys were going to be good because defensively they was figuring it out as freshmen. They were struggling a little bit offensively, but we knew that eventually that they would get it rolling, and that's what they did. So I was preaching that to them, like, listen, do not take this team for granted. We can see the different speed and the gap line and sound football that they play. So that was the focus, and then also after the game, it was just giving them the outside story that I knew about Shaw and the things that they did and how they overcame adversity, and just letting them know, like, hey, it's okay. We accomplished some goals. We didn't get to the ultimate goal. However, it's not over. This thing is just beginning. And what we have to do, we got to keep on grinding and keep on rolling, Then, we still got to be realistic about the situation, right? With us playing in Division II, with us having last year 45 kids on the team, and then those kids look across the field and they see they have 100-something kids on the sideline, and then they have another 30 that's not dressed out. That's an intimidating factor within itself. But like I knew that those kids was coming from the Catholic League. My new coach Hank was going to do a great job because I played against him when I was in high school. So it was all great, and it was a great atmosphere for those guys to be in. Something great for them.
Last question before I turn it over to VK Jones. Every team has goals. Obviously, the main goal is to get the pointers and play in New Orleans. But realistically, what is going to be considered a benchmark of success for Livingston this year?
One, like I said, last year we finished with a 3.1 GPA as a team. We definitely want to beat that this year. Two, we want to make sure that our guys are set up for success off the field first. So even before we think about athletics, that these kids are coming and they're going to, we call our college and career center C3. So we want to make sure that they're applying to colleges, they're taking the ACT, they're doing all the little things correct off the field. And then from a athletic standpoint, it's our job as coaches to get them seen. It's not our job to get them scholarships. However, putting them in the right position to be able to make plays and execute and have fun. With the talent we have, some of those guys will, at the end of the day, get off. So, we can talk about district, we can talk about playoffs, but I think if we ain't taking care of the little things first, we don't even make it to that aspect of football, right?
Correct.
So,
Yes.
And going great to win a district. It would be great to win a championship. However, with the adversity we have, and these kids here in the East, they're dealing with real life situations that some of us as adults have never dealt with. So these guys already, but we're not going to stop there. This is not a pity party. We're going to keep on instilling discipline in them, and letting them know, adversity is going to show about how you respond to it. So these guys are already winners in my book.
We are live. We are live with Coach Devon Francois, the head coach of the Livingston Wolves. Everyone that's joining us, click that subscribe button, hit the like, keep the comments coming. VK Jones.
What's going on, Coach? Man, we appreciate you joining us, man. It's good to see you up in here.
How you making out?
I'm good, man. I know we go way back a good bit. I gotta start off with this. You mentioned Dylan Gordon on your staff, man. Quick story about him. You're talking about a guy, as a state champion at John Curtis. He also won it in basketball. And the thing about him, I remember it to this day when they played against Riverside. And he put in serious work on Rico Gathers. And I ain't never seen Rico Gathers got work like that in the state championship. He's an unbelievable basketball player. But what Dylan did, he basically played some old school basketball and basically used a lot of his football skill in that ball game. It was amazing to see.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned his name is Rico, right? Rico Gaddis is Ricardo Gaddis actually. But
they called him short Rico for short, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, we actually played together for Panther Select when I was younger. So
okay.
Definitely know about those battles, and the way that he approached the game. And like I said, Dylan Gordon, man, he's a stand-up guy, and he was a 3-sport athlete. He did it in basketball, football, and also baseball. And for him to go to LSU and do the things that he done, and then go to the league, switching positions and being there for 6 years, now coming back and showing our kids, because he also works in the building. I think the unique thing about our staff is 8 of us that's in the building, so nothing get past us. Right. But for him to come back and show him, hey, yeah, I did those things and I did everything that you all want to accomplish, but I'm still here pointing to you all with your education and also with athletics. So that's a great testament to the things that he's doing. I love him with all my heart, and I'm happy to have him.
Well, this was already asked, but I'm going to ask you this. Knowing what's on the line in this district, do you think more than anything else, this could be a possibility who wins the district could get a good high seed in the playoffs because of the fact that how tough this district is, because of the fact of a lot of huge wins coming out this non-district schedule for a lot of, besides yourselves and a lot of the district teams?
Definitely. If you look at last year alone, us and Kennedy, we playing Division II. They was the 6th seed and we was the number 10, right? That speaks alone about what we're doing in this district. A lot of people, like they don't talk about the district, or they look at us. There's a lot of newer teams and up and coming programs that's in this district, but we playing good football. We competing with our 9 district schedule. And then, the rest of the district, they playing in Division 3. And, last year, so if we right, I think they was the highest seed in Division 3, and second round they play at Newman. So, what we're doing, is speak volume to the coaching staff and what our student athletes are doing in this district as well.
Well, I got to tell you, Coach, I know it seems like, the way you approach things, especially how I admired a lot how you was running things last season to this season with Livingston. It seems like Livingston is not just a job to you, but it's more of your calling more than anything else. Do you think that this is more of a calling to you, especially trying to help these kids, especially what they go through, especially in that New Orleans East area?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a calling. Something that Jalute used to always tell us is that football is a direct correlation to life. And I really believe that with all my heart. The adversity and the life lessons that, football teach us, it also teach us the game of life as well. So with our coaching staff and myself and the teachers, administrators around here, we can just continue to pour into the life, and the young lady's life that's around here that's playing sports. It's just great things that we can do. And like I said, the great thing about our athletic programs here, with me also being an athletic director, we maybe have 2 coaches outside our athletic program that does not work in the building, so nothing get past us. And I think that's the great part about it. You seeing us doing it within the building, as adults, but also doing it after hours. And we're going to continue pointing to these young men and young women life, because we know they is bigger than football, is bigger than sports. At some point, we gotta hang those and we got to walk into that real world.
And it seems like, I was hearing that a lot of things about to be built. The future looks bright for Livingston. But what are your thoughts on not just Livingston, but all these other Orleans schools are planning to do bigger things, and funding is being there to have schools rebuilt to become bigger and better than it ever been? What are your thoughts about that? Because that is unbelievable when you hear plans from Livingston, when you hear plans for what Carver's doing, Kennedy's doing. It's really some really good things that's about to happen in the city of New Orleans that gives the community hope.
Yeah, I think about VK. You do a great job pointing out, giving us history, facts of the game. And when you talk about in the past where we only have 3 or 4 teams that's making the playoffs, but now I hear you talk about how we just have great coaches at every aspect of the game in multiple sports. I think that's the bright spot. We have some young coaches, we have older coaches that are pioneers in the game that's also giving us the ropes. I think when I took over this job, I probably was the youngest head coach in the city, getting this job at 28 years old. However, like I said, there's a coalition that I can always call on those guys. I can call on the T. Howard. I can call on the Coach Wu. I can call on Coach Fish over at Easton. So we have those relationships, and I think the city is in great hands right now. Once we clean up a few things, I think we'll be moving in the right direction in all aspects.
Look, I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen, especially with the new Livingston school being built. All this stuff going on. It's been amazing what we've been hearing, and it looks like it's coming to fruition. So that is that. My biggest thing, and I don't know if you heard the show yesterday where we talked with Coach Kenny Bourgeois, and my biggest thing was great all aroundness for a program, because it's a lot for him to deal with, especially if you have great administration behind you at a school that is mainly academic type of school. But all of a sudden they feel like, hey, we can be successful not just in the classroom but on the field and have some pride in the school. That's really big, and that's something huge all around. And I see the fan base over at Livingston. It continues to grow every day and everything else. It was amazing to see that crowd last year against Kennedy, despite the loss, but still, it seemed like Livingston, that fan base is really growing.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's huge about the city, if you look at the principals, you look at a lot of the teachers, it's adults from our community that's starting to really pour back into it. I remember at one important time where we had Teach for America, that was most of the teachers that was in the building. Now we have some of our own that's continue to get into the school system and educate men and women. So I think that's the thing that's most important. We hear a lot about kids out of New Orleans can't make it. Well, we're gonna come back in the community. We're gonna show you and give you the blueprint. Something I always tell our student athletes is that many people tell you what it takes to be successful, but they don't tell you how to maintain success. Once you achieve it. So that's what we're trying to do. And I think the city we're in good hands. Like I said, there's a few things that we have to clean up, and you know, we're working together, athletic directors as coaches, to make it better for our youth. And I think if we continue doing it, and with the platforms such as the Hash It Out show and 1008, you all keep bringing the limelight to the communities. And I think great things are coming.
Any seniors are being looked at? Anybody being highly recruited so far out of Livingston?
We have a few that's getting some looks. I'm not gonna really put their names out there. I want them to stay focused and committed to go. But I believe whatever God has in store for them is going to happen. I think something that goes unmentioned, like we have a Jared Jones, happy birthday to you, but he's at Villanova right now. A senior number 6 from last year. So he was a linebacker. He's not playing sports, but he got the Posse scholarship and he's out there doing amazing things. So these kids, they setting high goals, and they reaching to achieve them every day. So we have some kids that's getting looks. Marshall have been around here a few times, looking at some of our kids, and we have some SWAC schools that's coming through as well. And I believe that it's gonna happen for them.
Gotta ask you one more thing, and I'm gonna let JB take over from here. It's a hypothetical question. You're a former Carl Cougar in itself. The last time that this state has been to 5 classes was 2012. Do you think the state has a chance to go back to 1A to 5A? Hypothetical, what you think?
I think so. I don't think so. Yesterday we had the meeting, and we voted on the term select. The term select for the glossary. So it never was about the playoffs. That special meet was never about the playoffs. It was solely about the term select. So I think there's going to be some proposals moving forward. I think some things can change at some point that we can potentially vote on the playoff structure. But I don't see it going back to just 5 classes.
Understandable.
Coach Francois, I want to wish you the best of luck this Saturday against Patrick Taylor. Wish you the best of luck throughout the rest of the season. And October 14th, I believe, is the day y'all play Kennedy. I think it's that day on the 14th, that Saturday. I'm going to be there. I'll be at that game to let you know. VK will probably be with me.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Look, we appreciate you joining us, man. We truly thank you for taking time out your schedule to be here with us. We thank you so much.
Thank you all for having me on. Again, I truly respect and commend you all for the platform and what you all are doing. On doing it, man. No matter what nobody say, y'all doing great things for the community. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Coach Devon Francois, the head coach of the Livingston Wolves. Look, my man is doing a great job as the head coach. A playoff win last year. That's astounding. They got to the second round. That's astounding. He and his staff is doing an amazing job with these kids. And only better and greater things is yet to come for the Livingston Wolves. What are your thoughts right quick, George Peppers?
As far as what he's doing there, Coach Francois has done an immaculate job there at Livingston. I see brighter things going forward. VK touched on the fact that they have a new school being built. The power of positivity spreading in New Orleans. That's a good thing. Um, and you mentioned about the 14th when they play Kennedy. That's next weekend, correct?
That's right.
Guess who's off next weekend? This guy. I might join you guys because that sounds like a game I'd love to join and watch because I think it's going to be a spirited, competitive affair next week. And thank y'all for the comments. Keep it coming. We get every different coach. Look at last night. Look at last night. We had Coach Bourgeois, and look how many Patrick Taylor people. I don't know how many new fans I got though last night. I mean that was pretty fun. But look, Coach Francois VK does a spectacular job. It's a very interesting matchup that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But VK, talk about your impressions of Coach Francois.
Excuse me.
Oh, you good?
You all right, man? You all right?
Straight, man. Had a long day.
You ain't got that die slow, huh?
Who?
Die slow.
Oh no.
Die slow. Oh my God. Well,
oh Lord, here we go.
No, you're funny, man. See, we always like to kick jokes on the Hash It Out.
It's a beautiful thing, though.
It's beautiful, but for Coach Francois,
practice your house.
Yes, indeed, the fans are having at it. But Coach Francois, I talked with him last season. I think it was after the Kennedy game, and I told him I love what he's doing. I love what he's doing. It's even within the loss, he's still coaching the kids, and it's like telling them, hey, we got to work. We got to continue to work. And he's got a great product. And also for a school that is really new to the area, and formerly it was Lawless, you know what I'm saying? And it was talking about bringing back Lawless. And it seemed like the alumni kind of supports a little bit, but at the same time, you just like what the Livingston Collegiate is doing, you know what I'm saying? And I really like what Coach Francois is doing, that staff and everything. They are really about education and success all around. So I wish them the best with their brand new school and everything. You think about they're thinking about a brand new school. Kennedy's talking about a brand new school. Carver is close to getting their own football stadium. So it's a lot going on in the city. And what I heard this week, that the city has the city of New Orleans, the Department of Education is loading up billions of freaking dollars. And they're going to be rebuilding certain schools and adding on things. So that is really big for the city. And the thing is, I just hope they have the right people in the right places, that things can get better and better in this city. And not just that, for the kids too. Set them up for success more than anything else, because this is better than what you hear in Algiers or what's been going on at Easton. I don't want to say those schools, but you just hate to see what's going on over there. But when you hear the positive stuff that's going on at Kennedy, at Livingston, at all these other places, that shows some big time light to the city more than anything else. That makes a lot of people like us and a lot of people across the city feel a lot better that not every school has bad apples.
Everybody that's tuning in, please click that subscribe button, hit the likes, keep the comments coming. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have pick'em time, where we pick the winners of some of these games throughout the state of Louisiana. We'll be right back here on the Hash It Out Show.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. Yes, the Hash It Out Show game of the week. The St. James Wildcats versus the Lake Charles College Prep Trailblazers. You can catch pregame at 6:20 and the full game starting at 7 o'clock on www.tsbnsports.com. All right, fellas, it is time to get to our pick'ems. DJ13 says to pick them first. I need to go play the lottery tonight because it's actually the first game we have on here for Thursday night. See, I click Thursday games. There it is, and I click up one spot. There it is. That's actually the first one, and y'all can attest to that because I sent y'all the list. You know what the first game is. It is Abramson taking on McDonough 35 on Thursday night. Man, Abramson off to a great start. Great start. 35, little up and down, up and down. Should they have won last week? Yeah, they should have won, but it didn't happen. So who am I going to go with this week? I'm going with 35. VK.
I'm agree with you on that one. I think Abramson is doing some unbelievable things. It could have been a battle of the defeat a couple weeks ago, but too bad that didn't happen. But for them to have some time off to prepare for a top 35 team, I think Abramson's going to be ready to play. But I think Santana Price and company is going to bounce back this week. I think 35 wins.
GP.
How they lost last week was a pretty tough pill to swallow. Santana Price going out to play before the field goal. I think if he wouldn't have gone out, they would have went for it. You put that ball in your best player's hands. So the Ron Eagles are smarting a little bit from that loss. And look, you guys mentioned Abramson. They have done spectacular work this year. 4-0, doing great stuff. That being said, Abramson doesn't have Santana Price and difference makers. I think the Ron Eagles win, but it's going to be competitive. I think a touchdown margin suffices here, and 35 wins it.
All right. Ben Franklin taking on Jefferson Rise. Yeah, VK. It's a tough one. I know it is. I can read it on your face.
Mm-hmm.
I can read it on your face, VK. So who am I going to go with? Woo, I don't know. I'm going to go with Jefferson Rise. I'm going to go with the West Bank on this one. VK saying no.
Nah. I'm looking. I just got something about. I had to go do something earlier. Now I don't have to now because, well, the packages it probably ain't coming until 1 a.m.
Gotcha. All right. Who you got, man?
So you're good.
Yeah, I'm good, but I'm gonna have to make that drop.
You still gotta go later on.
Oh Lord. But I think this is gonna be an interesting ball game. Terry Hick Wilson doing his best at Ben Franklin and trying to get the win. This is gonna be a good ball game. This is actually gonna be a really good ball game. It's a tough one. Tough one to pick. I'm gonna go with Jefferson Rise to get the 500.
GP.
Jefferson Rise has tested themselves a little bit outside of district, outside of, they got whacked by, I think, was it St. Amant last week? A legit now St. Amant 5-0.
Yeah.
This is more their speed. No disrespect intended to Ben Franklin. Oh, really, DJ? Damn, that's tough.
We ain't done.
I hear you. Oh, I know. SAT, hey, bro. As long as we get more of those, I ain't complaining because that means the kids are doing their work in the classroom. That's what that's about. But as far as picking this game, I'm gonna go with Jefferson Rise. Man, I ain't trading on the West. I ain't betraying the West Bank like that. Ben Franklin's had a tough road to hoe. I think J. Rise gets it done. Close, low scoring.
Live Oak going to Denham
Yeah.
Springs. Could you say the Brett Beard Bowl? Since he coached the
Yep,
Live Oak and left to go to Denham Springs,
yep.
he could. But I got Denham Springs over Live Oak. VK.
I agree. I think Live Oak has not been the same since Brett Beard left the program, and I think he's going to get. I think Denham Springs need a bounce back victory this week after last week. So I like Denham Springs.
Yeah, they lost by 32
Hmm.
to STM. Go ahead, GP.
Yeah, but that's a legit offense that can score a lot, and this is more their speed here. I'm gonna go Denham Springs. I think they get the bounce back. Live Oaks had a couple of positive wins. Yellow Jackets too much though. Yellow Jackets by 2 scores.
Right. Northside Vikings over 500. 3-2. They're going to Lafayette Kristen, which is right across the interstate, pretty much. Because I've been to Northside High School before, and you can see Lafayette Kristen off the interstate. Lafayette Kristen with the win. VK.
And Northside is actually how far? How far from Lake from it's literally what?
How far from Lafayette Kristen?
Yes.
1.1 mile, maybe.
That
Like neighbors.
Look,
is,
like, to be honest with you, like Northside, Turlings, STM are on the south side of the interstate. Lafayette Kristen right there on the north side, right there.
and
They're all right there.
and then Lafayette High is like right past
They close
ULL
too.
Stadium.
They're
It's
close too.
right
Yep.
past ULL.
Uh-huh.
So Northside interesting. They really trying to get things back in order. The athletics trying to get back together. I like what I'm seeing in Northside, but LCA looking to bounce back this
All right.
after losing a couple weeks ago. I think LCA wins big.
GP.
Well, last I heard, Jawan Johnson is residing at Lafayette Christian. He doesn't play for Northside.
Yeah.
Pretty much tells you where I'm going. LCA, big.
All right. What's up, Q? All right. Back to the West Bank, y'all. Thomas Jefferson taking on
Oh,
Fisher.
see the look.
I'm gonna go with the team that's 2-3. I'm gonna go with Fisher.
I just can't believe. I think now we done had 3 giveaway games this week. I counted 2. This is the third.
This is a giveaway?
Oh, wow.
I didn't think so. Okay.
You're giving us money, dude. This is money. So Thomas Jefferson, they're trying, but at the same time, I'm really shocked that Fisher, and I thought they were winless. Fisher has maybe the most wins they had in a long time. And they're going to get the 500. I'm taking the Fisher Gators. And even though Fisher has been through a lot in itself, especially the damage of Hurricane, they had to relocate.
Yes, the West Bank Community College. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Because at first they was at Everett last year.
Yes, they were.
Now they have moved into the school right next to Walgreens, where it was formerly, I think, like you just said. They're right over there now. So I think I don't know if it's the new location from now on. Either way, but they're overcoming a lot of things. So it's gonna be 3-3.
Big D. I heard about this quarterback. I heard he got an arm for days. I heard about it.
Yep.
Really?
Wait, George.
Yes, sir. Heard the same thing. Look, I was thinking about taking the quote upset with TJ because I feel like that they're due. Obviously, I mean, being on 5, Fisher is Fisher. They've had some rough losses, a couple of wins. Continued prayers for their community to bounce back from Ida. With obvious devastation that they've suffered. We continue to pray for you guys to get completely back on your feet. That's a resolve that New Orleans and every community around here does have. As far as the game, I was tempted to go TJ. And if they're able to contain Fisher's quarterback and the Gators, they could win it. That being said, I can't do it because I feel like I'm gonna go with Fisher.
All right.
And I'm wondering if the game is at Fisher. If they're continuing
No,
to put it against.
no, it's at West
No,
tomorrow.
Huh?
it's at Memphis.
Is that
Is that
Memphis?
Memphis?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Our last Thursday game that we're picking: the West Jeff Buccaneers against the Bonneville Bruins. This is gonna be a great game, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a great game right here. You don't miss this game, and I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being real. It's gonna be a great game. I think Bonneville pulls it off, probably by 7. Close ball game. Bonneville by 7. Go ahead, VK.
No disrespect. No disrespect. This is not going to be a game.
Yeah, well.
Bonneville by 20.
Oh, I ain't going that far.
Bonneville by 20. I'm sorry. I didn't seen too much weakness on West Jeff. It's not even funny.
Dude, West Jeff they got talent, they got size, and you like, how?
That's what I'm saying. That's the
Yeah, I know
problem.
what you're saying. Yeah.
That's the problem. And I looked at it. I thought about it. A game. What game? If West Jeff is going to prove that they can get their first win, they're going to have to play the game of their lives against Bonneville because Bonneville is confident. Bonneville is trying to get to 500 for the first time in a long, long time.
Not forget, Bonneville made the playoffs last year too.
With what? How many wins? 2 wins?
I don't know. They made it in Riverdale. They both made the playoffs.
They sure did. Well, Bonneville will win big. I wouldn't be surprised. The game might be close. But I like Bonneville.
Go ahead, GP.
You know, I'm not one to be disrespectful.
That's right.
Not at any point. But I'm going to say this about West Jefferson. This is a historically bad football team. Historically. You have a brand new coaching regime, and normally you work the kinks out in the pre-district. They have not made any improvements to get better. This is a team that averages in the double figures in penalties every week. Turnovers are a plethora of them every week. They have not been competitive. Their worst loss of the year was to H.L. Bourgeois, who's the worst team in the Bayou. And they have not been competitive. That was their only close game. Bonneville, they come off a resounding win against Douglas last week. Really put it to them. Defensively, they were stalwart. Until DeCarlos Holmes shows me that his team can put out effort, because effort's one thing, but when you continue to do the same mistakes time and time and time again, sometimes it's not about the effort. It's about the coaching staff looking to make adjustments. They have not done it. Bonneville will destroy West Jeff. And this is not the Aaron alumnus talking. This is the analyst talking. Like I said, until the Bucks prove to me that they're competitive, they're going to get whipped. Bonneville, and I'm like VK, this is not close at any point. The only time it'll be close is when the buses pull, when West Jeff pulls up and they get out the bus and the scoreboard reads 0-0 with 12 minutes to go in the first quarter. That's the only time this game's close. Bruins, big.
All right. We go to our Friday games. Baton Rouge area. This district here has proven that it's tough this year. It's proven that. Dutchtown, 4-0. Taking on Walker, 4-1. Who gets the victory? I'm going to go Walker. VK.
Walker has been stepping up and getting some huge, huge wins. Dutchtown has been off to a very good start. Very, very good. Big D. Indeed. You are absolutely right. Indeed. But I tell you one thing, this is gonna be an interesting ball game. I got Walker by field goal. It's gonna be a very, very good game.
GP.
Sometimes you listen to people and get different perspectives, and I did that today about this game. This game was brought up with Ken Trahan and Hunter Bauer. They did a podcast today. Hunter Bauer from GoPress.com. They do fabulous work with the power readings and everything else. They do spectacular. You can check them out there. And they touched on this game. And I'm going to go opposite of both of you. I'm taking Dutchtown. That's a better football team. They have more. Walker, as VK mentioned, has done some stepping up, and Chad Mahaffey is their coach there now. He's a very good coach. I just feel like Dutchtown is sitting on a mission this year, and I think they're gonna get this game. This is a swing game. Dutchtown by a touchdown.
Saint Amant, 5-0. East Ascension 1-4, but East Ascension has one of the toughest schedules in the state. Does Saint Amant stay undefeated, or does East Ascension get a big time win? Oh man, I'm gonna go with the upset. East Ascension gets the victory over Saint Amant. I feel it. Go ahead, VK.
I don't think it's an upset because this is. I
Ooh.
don't think it's an upset because this is an evening match game. You have to think that Saint Amant, yeah, they're undefeated. They've been playing very, very well, and they're proving themselves. And East Ascension has played the toughest schedule in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah.
They're battle tested. They're ready to go. In my heart, I would love to go with Saint Amant to pull this thing off, to have maybe the best start in school history. But my head is going with East Ascension. Give me the Spartans by a touchdown.
GP.
I hate you too. I swear. Because I was thinking y'all two were gonna bite into the Saint Amant team and go for it. Listen, you're absolutely spot on with your analysis, both of you. East Ascension has played a tough schedule, but the counter to that is this. How much has that tough part of the schedule taken out of them in a district that there is really no margin for error? That's something you got to look at. And my gut tells me East Ascension to win it. But every time we pick against Saint Amant, we've done that a couple of times this year on the picks. They've said, "Oh wait, we go throw them boys from the Hash It Out show what football's all about," and they've embarrassed some teams. They've made us look like complete fools. I don't know whether to look like a fool, but heck, I'm going with it. Spartans upset.
Right.
Spartans. Yeah, he going with everybody going with Spartans, but I don't. Some people say this is not an upset. This is.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it's an upset. Not at all.
People that's gonna look at it if they do win say it's an upset due to the record. That's how people will look at it.
Sure, 1-4
But I
versus 5-0.
understand where VK coming from with it.
Yeah, because last week somebody said, like last week I was talking about Curtis and Holy Cross, and I said, I think it was Cole asked me, "Do you think it'll be upset?" I said, "Yes." Somebody disagreed and was like, "No, it won't be." I said, "Dude, Holy Cross has not had a signature win in decades."
Yeah.
Until Saturday.
Exactly. So plain and simple, that's an upset. It's about what the magnitude of the game and the win in the history is. That would determine what the upset is.
You gotta remember last year, Dutchtown, East Ascension, and Denham Springs all finished tied for first in the district. So yeah, to go to your point. All right, guys. Hornville at Thibodaux. Hornville, they competed with East St. John last week. Probably their best showing this whole season so far, even in a loss. Now, will that same Hornville team show up as they travel to Thibodaux? They might not show up, but they still get the win. Hornville goes to 2-4. VK.
I gotta agree with you, man. I think the Hornville Tigers is gonna get it done. I think it's gonna be interesting early, but I think Hornville is gonna settle down, and I think this might be their biggest breakout of the season. Hornville.
GP.
Thibodeau has an interesting quarterback and sophomore Brody Becknell. We saw him against East St. John a couple of weeks ago on the Hash It Out game of the week, and I pointed out to BK, I said, this kid's got some moxie, he's got some toughness. That's about all they really have. I don't think they have much to offer. I think the danger for Hornville this week is this. They poured so much at East St. John week after the embarrassment against Estrahan. What's left? Can they? This is not a get-up game. I mean, Thibodeau's won a similar record as them. I just feel like Daniel Luquette might be coaching for his job here if they don't win this game. With the community's impatience and everything else. The Tigers are simply better. Harville gets it done.
All right. We go up north a little bit. Marksville versus Gina. I got Gina.
I got Gina as well, as Gina goes to 6-0, but it should be a really good game against Marksville.
I think so.
I don't think so. Gina will win, but this is a blowout. And Gina's receivers, if you go check them out, those dudes, that is the talk. Gina may be the Senlaw carrier this year, as far as what Senlaw teams can find a deep playoff run. This Gina offense is silly good. Marksville's better, but they don't. They run the ball. They do run this. They run the veer in Marksville. But exactly, I feel like Gina's going to win. I was about to say by 4 touchdowns, and that's about where I'm going. Gina will eviscerate Marksville Friday night.
Okay.
Wow.
We go to the North Shore. Big district battle. A meet going to Bogalusa. Who gets it done in a tightly contested ball game? You all right? I told you they die slow. But we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and choose Bogalusa with the victory over A meet. VK.
You said you picked Bogalusa?
Bogalusa. Yep.
Wow. It should be. I'm like this. Close ball game. Very close ball game. I gotta give Bogalusa edge on this one. I think they're gonna make enough plays to get it done. And I wouldn't. I ain't gonna lie. I got burnt a couple times with Bogalusa.
Yeah.
But I'm going with them one more time.
One more time.
You better get that win for me. One more time.
GP.
I think they feel the pressure from the VK Jones. That's what this sounds like. A-Meat smarting from a very destructive loss last week at Kentwood, right? Kentwood, VK's 5th rated team in the state of Louisiana. For those that missed the show last night, there it is. I don't know about this one. The Zephaniah Powell's team looks way too young, but Crutchfield's team, they're up and down. You know, they had a couple of close losses. They got destroyed by Slidell a few weeks back. Once Bogalusa shows up, we know they can score, and that's something A-Meat doesn't do well. So in that vein, I'm going Lumberjacks by 10.
Okay. Let's go to the Shrine. Rummel versus Curtis. Curtis coming off of a loss. Curtis big over Rummel. VK.
It's something that this rivalry now is taking a turn, going to the Shrine for the first time ever. So it's going to be interesting in itself, but I think Curtis with the big time blowback and gets the big win over Rummel.
I'm pretty sure that Archbishop Rummel, when they saw that John Curtis got beat, and with 2 words that I'm not going to repeat because we're a family show, what usually happens when Curtis gets beat in a game that they had in the bag? The next opponent feels the wrath. It's happening this week at the Shrine. John Curtis by 35.
All right.
Goodness.
Whew. We go to Algiers. The Landry Buccaneers have only scored 12 points this whole season. Here comes Archbishop Shaw. Landry starting quarterback broke his wrist. He's out. Shaw big. Shaw big.
Name your score. Name your score. Archbishop Shaw. I mean, I think this is, and I know that's your alma mater, and I know you believe in trying to maybe give us wins. But to be honest, in amnesty, we shouldn't have now put this game on the list, just to be honest. Landry has been through enough hell. They have just now got rid of, I don't know if you already heard the news about what happened with Noel Ellis.
No, I asked yesterday. Nobody answered me on 1008. Like I didn't hear anything. I went search. Nothing popped up.
It probably is not official yet, but Cole talked about this in the beginning of the show. That
I missed it.
He said that they're looking for a new coach at Landry.
Did Noel resign? He got fired, or we just don't know?
They said that they were saying that the charter school let him go. It's unofficial, but it soon will be. But that was said last night.
Call for Landry McMahon. Jeez. Easton. Gosh.
Yeah. It's a disturbing trend, isn't it? It's a disturbing trend, though, guys.
Yeah,
when you talk about that.
It's unofficial what I heard, but at the same time, it's gonna eventually come out. But they talked about it in the beginning of the show last night, 10:08, and I was like,
"Gotcha." When are we picking this matchup? Man, I get it's a fat in the win total, I guess. Landry scored all of how many points? 12? You know what would be funny? VK, Shaw may blow him out, but what if Landry hangs like 21 on him? That'd be a pretty disturbing sign for the Shaw Eagles. But Shaw's defense ain't going to allow that to happen. With a backup quarterback, next man up, Landry. Y'all can do it for Cole. Do it for Cole, baby. A man loves y'all. He bled for y'all for 4 years. Nope. Ain't happening. Shaw wins big.
All right. We go uptown. The Bell Chase Cardinals going to play the Newman Greenies. I think Eli Friend has a great ball game. I was told that the running back, Jace Voisin, is not even playing running back right now. He's playing linebacker. Mm-hmm. They got a faster back supposedly at running back, from what I was told. Take it for what it's worth. But Eli Friend throws for 3 touchdowns, and the Newman Greenies defeat the Bell Chase Cardinals. Mr. VK Jones.
I think that this game is going to be very, very close in itself. This Bell Chase team, this Newman team is really good. Eli Friend and how they're playing right now, they're doing very, very well. But this Bell Chase team, and I want you to go back on and watch the Franklinton game. This is a young team, but they truly grew up big time last week. That offensive line created some holes. And Jason, and I'll tell you one thing: Jaden Voisin is now playing defensive end, and he is really packing a punch. But Bell Chase doesn't just have not two, 3 backs.
Okay,
you got 3 backs in Dylan Carter, Caleb Wallace, and Jacob Black. And you have a good fullback in Aiden Westbrook that can block very, very well. And Bell Chase has a quarterback, y'all, and he's the future of Bell Chase, Amari Ambrose. And if he's not just an athlete that can run, he can throw the ball too. All I'm gonna tell you is this: in their defense, not that bad either. I like Newman, but I'm taking Bell Chase with the upset. Bell Chase by a field goal.
Of course you taking Bell Chase. Of course. Go ahead, GP.
They beat his boy last week.
I'm going for the points. I'm going for the points.
They beat his idol last week. We'll just leave it at that. Listen, Stephen Myers and Nelson Stewart are both good coaches. This is a good X's and O's matchup. The problem I have here is Bell Chase's throwing game is non-existent. They have so decided on the run.
I don't
Last
know
week's
about
game.
That. 2 weeks ago, they had 250. They had 250 in a win against Salmon.
Against who?
Salmon. The same team we called a couple weeks ago in the win. And then he passed for over 175 last week. This is what I'm telling you. You're saying about a non-existent passing game. I don't know what you're talking about, Joe.
I was listening to Kenny Trahan.
I know you're listening to Kenny, but what I have seen in person.
Okay.
Just saying. Go ahead, my friend.
Look, they beat your uncle. They beat your boy last week. I feel you. I get it. I get it. Uncle. But no, This is a mercy game. Newman has been spectacular. Nelson Stewart, I mentioned he's a heck of a coach. I like Stephen Myers too. Um, I just think Newman's got too much perimeter outside guys, and Eli Friend is going to do work. Belchase's secondary is a little bit suspect. They are. Defensively at the front, they're good. It's in the back where they can get in trouble. And if Newman, this is all about tempo. Belchase doesn't play like Newman. They are run first, and that's the Myers way. From Wayne to Steven, they will run the ball at you and let you know, big boy, we coming. If Newman gets out early, gets a two-score lead, it's a long, long night for Belchase. Newman, that's who I'm picking. Greenies.
All right. Chalmette, East Jeff, as district play starts. Chalmette.
Owls will go 5-1. Sorry, Coach Glover.
I'm good with. I mean, Coach Glover's doing good things at East Jeff. They're on the improve. Chalmette's the only team in 8-5A that can challenge John Everett. I know we're going to pick the Everett game here in a few minutes. Chalmette big.
Covington going to St. Paul's. Covington said they need us back. We're their good luck. The Hatch It Out show, their good luck. Won't be there.
That's
We
all
won't be
right.
there this week. I think St. Paul's get the job done with Covington.
St. Paul's proving really tough. Should be an interesting game. Could go down to the wire, but I like the Wolves.
Reading a lot of things and seeing some stuff. St. Paul's defense is wicked good. Covington got the bounce back after a 3-game losing streak last week, getting them the W last week. They're starting to feel better about themselves, but I don't think they've seen a defense that could hit like this St. Paul's D. I think the Wolves get it done, and I think they win by 14.
Douglas.
And get an elevator at Salter Stadium before we go back. Just saying.
Douglas going to Country Day. I got Douglas.
I like the Bobcats in this ball game, and no disrespect to Coach Cheddar and Country Day. You know what I'm saying? This has been a real tough schedule for them. But I like Douglas.
We saw Douglas a couple of Thursdays ago against Riverdale, and I remember pointing out to you, VK, this quarterback that Douglas has. I like his mocks. I like what he's about. The inconsistencies came to bear though in that game, and then against Bonneville last week. You wonder if they're a team on the tailspin or if they can bounce back. Country Day has struggled, Coach Cheddar. It's not going right this year. I mean, it's tough to take a road team, but I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go Douglas. It's going to probably be close. I think Douglas by a touchdown.
Okay. Back to the West Bank. Higgins, John Eric. This is not a district game, but it is a rivalry game.
Yes, it is.
Who gets the win? John Eric.
Should I do it? I'm good for one. I'm good for. I don't care, but I'm good for one if I want to. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. John Eric wins, but it goes down to the wire. Higgins is gonna give them hell. They are going to give them hell. Clifford Harris is gonna have them ready. This is an improved Higgins team. They're not the same, and them seniors remember those years, and they're gonna feel like, hey, we coming in to fight. We not about to lay down. I like Eric, but close.
Here's the thing I run into with this game. Higgins is everything you say. VK is dead on as far as what the improvement in Clifford Harris and what the Hurricanes have done. They've shown a little bit of life this year, unlike they've had in the past. With that said, no, they're not our rivals because Eric always wins. So, in that vein, I think Higgins has a very tough task at hand, stopping that offensive Eric. And what are they going to bring offensively to challenge Eric? All I can tell you, and look, this is not the alumnus talking. This is the sports analyst talking. The alumnus can tell you Eric to win by 60, but that's not happening. Eric's offense is going to be much too hard for Higgins to slow down, let alone stop. Eric can hang 40, and they'll win by three. They'll win by 3 scores.
Okay.
And the thing is, that's not our rival. Well, y'all forgetting the days of Wayne Myers at Higgins. Remember.
Skylar Green.
Exactly. Skylar Green, Clifford Harris. Remember. Y'all got held back years ago, my brother. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Greatest years of
Are we
Higgins.
going back to that? I mean,
mean,
what, what,
what has Higgins done against Eric lately?
It's not.
nothing.
I'm saying nothing lately, but there was a time that thing went in reverse.
Hey, bro.
Just saying.
Dusting out the storybook. I hear you. Big D, let me just say this. I'm an Eric alumnus as well, class of 1990. So we got something together in that respect. But JB, let's go.
Let's do it. Homer Christian coming down to play South Plaquemines.
Oh my
This
God.
game right here might be for the district championship. I think these are the best two teams in that district. Who gets it done? I'm going with Coach Loud Feet in South Plaque. VK.
That's going to be a very, very good ball game. Very, very good ball game in itself. I like both of these teams. It's going to be an evenly matchup right here. I'm going to go with South Plaquemines by a touchdown. Should be a very good ball
game. GP.
Homer Christian is legit improved, but I'm going to go Loud Feet and South Plaquemines. Game's there, and that's usually a tough spot. Hurricanes by 10.
Jesuit. Big win over the St. Augustine Purple Knights.
Uh-oh.
I got it. Okay. St. Augustine Purple Knights. They're taking on Brother Martin at Tad Gormley. Brother Martin wins, and my opinion, the second best cornerback in the city, behind Bernard Carsey, Treshawn Ware, comes up with a game-saving interception. I got Brother Martin in a close one. Brother Martin, VK.
Should be a good one. Throw the records out the window when these two play. Throw these records out the window because these two go at it. Expect over 12 to maybe 14,000 at Tag Gormley because it's always a packed crowd for that game. I expect this to be a close game once again, but I have Brother Martin winning this ball game.
GP.
Brother Martin comes off a physically demanding game against Edna Carr. And look, they've had tons of opportunities early. I saw Reggie last night posting comments, and I went back and read. Yeah, they had numerous chances to put Carr on the 8 ball, didn't do it. And what usually happens when Carr gives you a chance and you don't take it, you get punished. And they did, 19-7. They hung in though. Jesuit comes off. You said the big win against St. Augustine last week. That's more of an indictment on St. Aug than Jesuit winning. St. Aug was supposed to be much better than what they are. I don't know if it's an oversell, but in this game, Crusaders by 10.
John F. Kennedy versus Sarah T. Reed. Kennedy about 20-something.
I agree. Kennedy big.
Gotta admire what the Olympians have done, though. 2 and 3, winning a couple of games. They're showing a little progress. But this is a humongous animal that they're running into. Kennedy, with that speed, is going to light them up. They're going to win big. Kennedy.
This game, you can see on your view. Riverside Rebels taking on St. Martin's. Harlem Berry, can he do his thing? Or can these talented athletes at Riverside put the stop to Harlem Berry? I think we got a good matchup on our hands. And the Riverside Rebels will get the win, giving St. Martin's their first loss of the season. Riverside Rebels.
Trying to go for them points. I see you.
I ain't going to. I'm just doing. I'm on how I feel.
I see it. Well, I think this game is going to be. It's going to be probably maybe one of the biggest games of the weekend. And I'm like this: the over under. Take the over 50. This is how good this game is going to be. It's gonna be a really good one. It's gonna go down to the wire. I think St. Martin sends a message that this is their district and also that they're a contender in the state. St. Martin's stays undefeated.
Been waiting 6 weeks to do this. But before I do, St. Martin's went to the semifinals last year, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. They still got that man named Harlan Berry running the backfield, right?
You're right.
And exactly why they're going to win not so fast, my friend JB. Um, Kevin Dicer is now the coach at St. Martin's. You think he's got a little bit of chutzpah this week? Absolutely. This thing's got a little extra kick. St. Martin's, as VK says, is going to make the statement of statements of look, it's not an indictment on Lee Roussel. He's doing good things there. They're starting to get it back at Riverside after, a couple of lean years. They're good. But I'll take the team with the alphabet to win this game. St. Martin's by a touchdown.
We go up north again. Haynesville going to Oak Grove. I think this will be another good game between two good teams, but I'm going to go with Haynesville over Oak Grove. I got Haynesville. They're not even in the same district. BK.
Haynesville back online again. I believe I'm wondering if David Franklin's still the coach over there at Haynesville. Has really done some great things, continuing the tradition of his dad. And I tell you, man, this is, they're really, really good. They're really good. But I'm like this, I gotta shake it up. Oak Grove. Gotta shake it up. Oak Grove looking for a signature win at home. This is their second opportunity. And I think this time, with them being battle tested, I think they get it done. Oak Grove by field goal.
All right. Go ahead.
We've seen these teams dance in the Superdome quite a few times, right?
Yep.
With that said, I'm going with the road team here. Haynesville, I feel like it's just a little bit better. And yeah, the experience, Kenny, you mentioned, they've got 17 kids coming, that came back. It's a big feature. And in a game like this, where they're going to be asked to step it up, they will. Haynesville by 6.
Now, when y'all see these records, y'all would think you should put that record with the other team and put the other record with the other team. But no, these are the real records. Washita, 1-4, traveling to little brother, the other little brother. I got two little brothers. West Washita, 5-0. Let's not forget, Washita Christian beat Big Brother Washita early in the year. West Washita off to a great start. Do they make this huge statement by beating Big Brother? Yes. West Washita goes to 6-0, defeats Big Brother Washita. VK.
I gotta agree with you. This is just not Washita's year. This is just not. Their program has not been the same. It's been up and down lately and everything else. And I think West Washita gets their biggest win in school history. Because I don't think they have ever beaten their big brother. Biggest win in school history for West Washita. Book it.
Peppers.
Book it, he says. When he has the long pause before he starts his analysis, JB, you know what that tells me?
What it tells you,
He's like, damn it. No, he's like, damn, why'd you pick him? Because I was fixing to pick him. I feel the same way. West Washita is on the come, and they're 5-0. But yeah, the instability at Washita. Washita Christian destroyed them last week. 47-14 or something like that. They beat the snot out of them people last week. Todd Garvin left. He must have left on the right time because this Washita team is just in a hellacious struggle. I don't see it getting out. West Washita with the signature win. They are undefeated against them. We know, but Streaks were made to be broken, and West Washington is going to break this one Friday night. If they don't do it this time, win. But they'll get it done Friday.
Like I say, all good and bad things always gotta come to an end.
Correct.
We stay up north. Peabody, 4-1. Going to Neville, 4-1. Who gets the win? Coach Harry Coleman, who we had on this show last week, head coach of Peabody, doing a fabulous job as the head coach, but not this Friday night. He does not get the job done. Neville bounces back from the loss to Ruston.
Peabody, I tell you, man. Coach Harry Coleman's doing some. He's really handling this business. He's really trying to lead a very good program that's mostly a basketball power and trying to turn it to a football power here.
Yeah,
I like what he's doing more than anything else. And I tell you, Peabody has got to really, and they're gonna have to do some yeoman's work trying to get their first win on the road at Neville, and it's gonna be really, really tough, especially Neville losing at home to Ruston. It's a big axe, but I like Ruston. They'll pull away in the. No, I'm sorry. I like Neville. Neville will pull away in the fourth quarter. We'll get it done.
Who you saying close game to the fourth? All right.
Well, close game to the fourth. I think they'll settle down. I think Peabody's gonna give it all they have. Like late third quarter to fourth, and Neville takes off.
GP.
To VK's point, Neville put everything into that game against Ruston last week. They were in front. They were very competitive, but Ruston was able to steal away in the fourth and get some late drives to put that thing away. VK Jones, number one Ruston supporter of the West Bay. We know, PJ. We get it.
Turns it back on.
Yeah, until they played. Then he turns into a. Let me stop. Boy, I guess say. All right, let me catch myself. But on the real, Neville. The danger in going with Neville is this: they put so much into that Ruston game. Is this one of those where they come out flat and really kind of slog along here? Neville's just clearly better. Harry Coleman has done great things at Peabody. For Peabody, for a school known for their basketball, and the icon coach Charles Smith. I just don't see how the Warhorses go all the way to Monroe and win that game. Tigers, it won't be pretty, it won't be pristine, but they'll win. The scoreline will look big, but they're going to win pretty big.
Right. Wassman, 4-1, going to play Carroll, 3-2. Does Coach Cahey and his team get to 5-1? I say yes. I got the Wassman Wampus Cats. VK. Wildcats. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Leesville with the Wampus.
Yeah, Leesville the Wampus. Yeah, my fault.
It's all good. Put the comment up, man. Oh my God. I guess I'm like this. If any Rusted fans and you want to purchase me a hat, it's all.
Oh no, you got to buy your own. What do you mean purchasing, man? They got
to. George, be quiet. No.
Man.
No.
Bro.
No. If people in the fan base, you know how it is. Come on now. Like if
all
people want to, drop a hat to me, very nice of you, Rustin, if you do that. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. But regardless of the fact, in this game coming up here, and what is that we got this week? Oh yeah.
Wassman Carroll.
I got the Wildcats as well. I think it'll be a good one against Carroll. Carroll trying to, get back into things after a great year they had last season.
Yeah.
But I like Coach Cahey and what he's done at Wassman. I think the Wildcats will go 5-1.
It's gonna be a competitive affair, to be sure. I'm gonna take a swing. I'm gonna go with my first upset of the week. Carroll beats Wassman. I think it's close. Again, these are old rivals. These are teams they're extremely familiar with each other. Wassman's done great work. Coach K, he's done a great job. But Carroll, as y'all mentioned, had a heck of a year last year, and they're going to try to replicate it. And this would be a very signature win to get it to give them a little boost going into the second half of the season. Carroll upset.
We go to the Lafayette area. Sam Houston, 5-0. Sam Houston. District matchup with Acadiana. Does Sam Houston make a statement this Friday night by defeating Acadiana, or does Acadiana keep things rolling by defeating Sam Houston? I got Acadiana.
Does Lake Charles claim Sam Houston, or is it more in the Sulphur area?
Closer to the Sulphur area.
Okay.
Well, let me double check though. But go ahead.
I'm like this. Acadiana is the veterans. They have been running that district for a long time. But I think this could be a new champ this year. I'm gonna shake it up again. I'm good for another. Sam Houston goes 6-0.
So I'm gonna say this. So I said Salford. I was totally wrong. Sam Houston is in Moss Bluff, which is like 15 miles north of Lake Charles, but Lake Charles does not claim Sam Houston.
But they're not too far from Lake Charles, you know.
No.
They're not too
It's
far.
like how they don't claim Salford. Salford like 20 minutes west of Lake Charles.
Because it was amazing that Sam Houston, Sulphur, and Barb all made the baseball tournament last year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Go ahead, GP. Who you got? We both got Acadiana.
Okay.
No, I got Sam.
No,
Sam
VK
Houston.
took
All
Sam.
right, cool.
Yeah. Look. Acadiana's going to win. I don't know how many more ways I could spell it. Sam Houston, I don't think they're ready to beat that, to step in and win that kind of game, especially at Acadiana. I know LC blasted them in week 1, but not many teams could go into Acadiana and handle the Wrecking Rams like that. Sam Houston, admirable start, 5-0, and not questioning the validity of your team. And exactly why until they do so, it ain't happening. Wrecking Rams by 14.
All right. Staying in Lafayette. Big time district matchup. Westgate going to Turlings. And before I get to my pick, Jabari Antoine, quarterback for Westgate. 5-star defensive back. Broken collarbone, out 6 to 7 weeks. So it's like once again, right before district play, the injury bug hits Westgate, and it hits their best player this time. And that changes everything, man. Changes everything. And you sit there and think, do you stick with Westgate against this team, Turlings? Or do you go with Turlings? And one of the players today, he told me, stick with us. We got this one. He said, stick with us, JB. We got this one. I'm going to stick with Westgate by a little bit over Turlings. What does Coach Antoine has cooking for this here? Because that's tough. Jabari Antoine out with a broken collarbone, man. That's woo. Meaning Westgate got to get to at least the quarterfinals for him to have a chance to play. A chance to come back and play. Oh, man. Go ahead, VK.
Well, Antoine, he plays in the secondary, or he's also the starting quarterback?
He's the starting quarterback. He'll go in like third down, very important downs.
Well, that's critical for Westgate. But I'm not going to change my pick.
Oh, you're going with Turlings all the way, huh? No matter what. I see you. I'm going to change your pick. All right, go ahead.
What are you talking about? So I changed my pick.
Sound like you're going Turtles. Go ahead.
No. I wasn't. No, I said I wasn't gonna change my pick. The team that's gonna win the district.
Okay.
I'm not changing that. And I know that injury means a lot to Westgate, but Westgate has a lot of depth and experience, and that would help them last season, and it's gonna help them again this time. It should be an unbelievable game against Turlins. Westgate by a touchdown.
See, I agree with the depth part of your statement, VK, but when you lose your alpha dog, your leader, that is a tremendous loss. They do have the backbone of a very rock solid defense to hang in, but this is a very different matchup. Turling's Catholic. They do run a fast paced offense, they do score the ball. Preston Welch is a very good quarterback. We couldn't have said that in week 3 when they got whacked by St. Charles, but that second half was not typical of what Turlings can do. I know we're going to Westgate in a couple of weeks' time to see them against St. Thomas More and Lafayette Christian. And in those games, I feel like they're going to be more up against it than here. Um, man, goodness gracious, I don't know. You know what? Turlings is a tough place to play. Yeah, it's a tough place
Been
to
there.
go. But Westgate has the temerity and I think the temperament to withstand the Antoine injury, and they're going to ugly this game up enough to give them an opportunity to win it. I think Westgate by a field goal.
All right, 2 games left, ladies and gentlemen. 1:30 Saturday afternoon, tag normally. Holy Cross takes on St. Augustine. Holy Cross coming off this huge high of beating John Curtis. St. Augustine offensively just can't find the missing pieces of the puzzles. Rumor has it from 2 people I've talked to, might be a new starting quarterback. It's just the offense mainly. That offense can start clicking. And then we're not saying this about St. Augustine because the defense is phenomenal. But offensively, they just can't get it. Holy Cross defeats St. Augustine Saturday afternoon. VK.
I wish I wouldn't pick this game. I wish I wouldn't pick it at all because it's hard for me. It's really hard. But I'm gonna go with the better team. I'm gonna go with Holy Cross to win this one. Might not even be close, but I'm hoping the Purple Knights will step up. And I'm like this: step up, step up. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm taking Holy Cross, but I want to be wrong. Purple Knights, prove me wrong Saturday. Prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. I'm begging you. Prove me wrong this Saturday. Prove me wrong. I want to be wrong. This is one of the times I'm ever going to say this. I want to be wrong.
You mean like you were about Kentwood being the 5th best team in the state?
I'm sticking to my convictions. I don't care.
Hey, you brother, it's all in fun, baby. But listen, I don't know if y'all heard, but Hubert Calisis will reopen his recruitment.
Yeah.
Don't know if you heard.
Yeah, we heard.
He has reopened his recruitment. I forget who he was committed to, but he's reopened. Yeah. Indiana? Okay. Well, sounds like Baton Rouge might be his calling card if they're on the list. You mentioned Dawson Simmons could be benched, JB? Is that right?
People told me that there's a chance that they might go another way at quarterback.
See, we saw the other quarterback against 35 opening week. Remember when Dawson was suspended for a quarter? And I don't know if what y'all saw is what I saw. I didn't like what I saw from that dude. The thing, he does. The thing that catches St. Aug's attention is that Holy Cross is coming off an enthralling and most famous win in their in many years against John Curtis, and the manner in which they accomplished that game being down 2 scores twice. How many JT Curtis teams do you know get chased down like that? And against an upstart team like Holy Cross, Jared, you shaking your head? No, that means
Correct.
not many. St. Aug has the defense to give Holy Cross
Yeah.
problems, big problems. Stewart is a monster. Um, that whole defense, though, that secondary is solid. I feel like, despite all the calamity that has happened at St. Aug, and Jesuit might be their rock bottom because Jesuit is a team that looks like a team that's going to finish in the cellar in the Catholic League, at least on projections. That's rock bottom for St. Aug. It cannot get any worse. Yes, I'm setting it up because guess what? As much as I love what Scott Watney has done, and I think he's the coach of the year early, they get the extra day. Well, they don't get the extra day because it was last Saturday they beat Curtis. And St. Aug is the right kind of team to keep Holy Cross's focus. But I think that the Purple Knight defense is going to make a very big statement and do something no one has done this year, and that's stop Holy Cross's offense. Purple Knights win.
Okay. All right. There you have it.
And VK, I expect dinner if they win. I expect some food from you.
Expect you say you taking the Purple Knights and you expect
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, ladies and gents, we thank y'all for tuning in to the Hash It Out Show.
I thought we had one more game.
Oh, yeah, we do. Dang. We not done yet. Don't leave. We do have one more game.
Nope. Hang in.
Just that St. Aug, man, is just, oh, man. Okay, we have one more game. I am so sorry. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you, VK. How could I forget? We had the two guests on tonight and last night, the respective head coaches of these two programs. Patrick Taylor Tigers, Livingston Wolves. They're fighting in the jungle, some safari, somewhere they fighting. Wolves. Well, wolves live in woods, right? Yeah. Tigers are in jungles. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. But anyway, they're meeting up somewhere to get it on. Coach Kenny Bourgeois doing a fabulous job at Patrick Taylor. George might say he got him second for Coach of the Year through halfway of the season. Coach Devon Francois, he's doing a fabulous job with his team. Second round of the playoffs last year, they got to. Phenomenal job for that program. Now he's looking to expand and go further. But here we are. District matchup between the two. Who gets the win? It was a close game last year, with Livingston winning 28-24. And Livingston will repeat that process by winning again over Patrick Taylor. I got the Wolves of Livingston. VK.
Should be a very good game. This should go down to the wire once again. Don't be surprised Patrick Taylor might have the lead late, but then Livingston will somehow will get the job done. Coach Devon Francois will have his team get it done by a touchdown over Patrick Taylor. I got Livingston.
Well, this is going to be a fascinating matchup, but one that I wish I could go see, but work beckons. So it's time and a half and whatever. We'll make that happen. We had both coaches on this week, and they are both outstanding leaders, and their teams reflect leadership. Good teams reflect their leadership, and those guys have done spectacular work. And I'm with you, JB, that Kenny Bourgeois is up there in that list of Coach of the Year, and people would be like, "Man, he coaches Patrick Taylor. So what? It's the job he's done." The thing is, I don't know if Patrick Taylor is as athletic as Livingston, or do they have the speed. They gave him a hell of a battle last year. They're going to give him another heck of a battle. But this is the fourth 5-0 team that I am picking against this week. Livingston by a touchdown.
And there you have it. Now, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Click that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. We're back next Tuesday and next Wednesday. Okay? If you're not doing nothing Friday night, make sure you tune in to www.tsbnsports.com between St. James and Lake Charles College Prep. VK Jones and George Peppers will have to call us that game. VK Jones, any last words?
Well, we appreciate everybody joining us, and I'll tell you one thing: it's homecoming weekend. It's a big homecoming weekend because you got
For a few schools.
St. James has their homecoming. Right down the road, West St. John has their homecoming as well this week.
Ooh.
St. Augustine has their homecoming.
Yeah.
Nicholls State has their homecoming as well. So it's a lot of homecomings this week, a lot of good, interesting games this week. We're looking forward to a very, very wonderful weekend, and also a big game Saturday night in the Yard in Baton Rouge. Southern hosts Florida A&M. That is going to be an interesting one there in Baton Rouge this weekend. That's the huge game in the state. Everybody else on the road. Hopefully LSU bounces back, but should be an interesting weekend in itself. Appreciate it.
Last words, GP.
VK Jones and I will be in Vacherie Friday night, as you mentioned, 6:20 pregame. I'll be doing the pregame, and VK Jones will be on the call with me as we get St. James and Lake Charles College Prep. I haven't even talked about this game, but it's going to be a fun football game. The atmosphere, this is my first trip to Vacherie. You guys have been there. I have not. This is my first trip there, and from what VK has told me and other reporters from around the state have said, they feed you well down there. And with our waistlines, that's not going to be a problem. But you know what? And the community embraces, they have a great community, St. James. And that is going to be fun. And of course, we can mention the weekend of football. LSU plays Missouri. Early kick Saturday. The Saints, Tulane play. I think Tulane's on the bye this week.
Tulane play Friday.
What they got Friday? Oh, Marshall.
No, Memphis. Huh?
They play Marshall, right?
Memphis.
Who is it?
No. Bye week. They got Memphis the next Friday.
I thought so. I was right. Okay, I thought so. It's the bye. Okay, and then the Saints, if you want to call them that, play Sunday against New England. We'll see about all that. There's some calamity going on there and whatnot, but it's another great football weekend. And you know what? There is a cold front coming through Friday just in time. So we gonna get some nice bite in the air Friday. No more hydration. Look, hydration breaks are good early in the season, but now it's time to get this cool breeze that's starting to kick in, and we gonna have a fun weekend. It's great to do this with you guys once again, and we'll do it again next Tuesday and Wednesday. But again, Friday night, 6:20, TSBNsports.com. VK Jones and myself will be in Vacherie for St. James and Lake Charles College Prep. Going to be a very good football game. We look forward to having you tune in. We'll give you the broadcast and our analysis and keep you updated throughout the night on scores as it permits. But JB, it's fun to do this every Tuesday and Wednesday.
Most definitely. Always fun. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll see y'all next Tuesday with some more guests. I got 2 guests in mind. I'll mention it to VK off the air. See if we get the job done and get them on there. One of them I've tried before. Didn't work. Let's see if we can get them this time. Anyway. Y'all take care. We catch y'all next time. Y'all take care.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move. Cause I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Cause I'm winning.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show. Please like, subscribe,